The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Game junkie Gerard Campbell.
He's joining me now to talk E3. We've been last week we talked about the hardware of E3, like Xbox Connect and PlayStation Move. But this week we thought we'd round up with some of the top games of E3. Gerard Campbell from stuff.co.nz. G'day there, Gerard.
G'day, Wammo. How are you?
Very well. Of course, you were the man on the spot. You went there and witnessed a lot of these games. Did you ever get into any of those private boardroom or backroom sort of sessions and actually get any kind of hands-on stuff?
Yeah, I got onto some of them, but some of them sort of depends on which booth you go to. Some of them have the old hands-on, but some of them don't. But yeah, I did manage to get, as you can appreciate, one person, there's a lot of games that you want to try and see. You don't get to see them all, but sort of got a lot of eyes on, if I didn't get hands-on, for some really cool stuff that's coming. I guess this year and sort of in the next year really, and it's really exciting. It's an exciting time for I thought last year was big. This year's just going to be the next year's just going to be just as big, I think. What
really popped out at you? What really stood out?
Well, I mean, there's something for everyone really. I mean, there's Nintendo's coming out with there's a new Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword that's coming for the Wii. They've got Donkey Kong Country. For the Wii, they've got a lot more DS games and the 3DS games coming out. From companies like EA, you've got a sequel to a really good scary game, Dead Space. We've got Dead Space 2, which is bigger and better and scary. You've got Crisis 2, which is another sort of a super soldier sort of one. You've got Killzone 3, that's going to be in 3D from Sony. You've got Gran Turismo 5, which is going to be launched in the US and I think Latin America sort of early November. So when we see that, I'm not sure, but that's going to have 3D in it as well. So Sony's doing their real big 3D push. You've got Halo Reach from Microsoft. We've got Fable 3 from Microsoft. Just consulting my list. A really good one that I had a hands-on with was one called Bulletstorm, which is coming from a company called People Can Fly and Epic Games, the company behind Gears of War series. And really, I had a hands-on with that, and they're trying to reinvent, I guess, the first-person shooter, so it's not a classic corridor-based shooter. They give you something called skill points where you've got to be more creative, in your killing. So if there's a guy coming towards you, if you give him a kick, melee kick him into the air, he sort of slows down, and then you shoot him there, you get more points for that. So it's really trying to reinvent, so it's not just straight down corridors shoot. You got things like Mafia Wars, we've got Star Wars The Old Republic, we've got, of course, there's another Call of Duty coming out this year, Black Ops, which we saw footage of that, and I thought, it looked, samey from the Call of Duty. I'm not perhaps that exciting about it at the moment.
Yeah, do you think we are now, because we had the World War II thing for a wee while, and we got over that. Do you think we're starting to get over even modern sort of combat?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see. Black Ops sort of seems to sort of take a step back, and there's bits in the Vietnam War and that sort of thing, which a lot of war games haven't covered with. But I'm just wondering whether the Call of Duty series might be turning into one of those franchises that's going on for too long. You can only have so much of a good thing, and I think how far can we go with the war genre now? It seems to be sort of going on forever and a day. And then of course there's a new Medal of Honor coming out too from EA, so that's adding another sort of war-based mix to it, and that's more of a modern base. But things like GoldenEye on the Wii from Nintendo, which is that, and a lot of people who old Nintendo fans of old will sort of hark back to that. So now it's coming out for the new generation. You've got a pretty interesting looking Metal Gear Solid one, Metal Gear Solid Rising, that they showed at the Xbox conference. That looks really, really good. Great sort of gameplay mechanics on it. There's Tron Evolution coming, sort of, and Portal 2 and Assassin's Creed Bloodlines, and
heaps.
Infamous.
It's a full gamut.
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, there's for anyone. And that would only be scratching the surface on the number of games that are there and that were on show. There's lots of car games, and there's racing games, and there's first-person shooters, and there's strategy games, and there's
There's one I was looking forward to that I forget the name. You'll be able to tell me the name, but it revolves around a storyline where North Korea in the near future invades America, but far-fetched. But
that would be the old Homefront.
Homefront. What did you make of that?
Yeah. Homefront. I also saw Homefront last year, and it looked really. It sort of piqued my interest because it was a different take on your traditional first-person shooter. Most first-person shooters, or a lot of first-person shooters, are sort of very corridor-based and sort of military establishment-based sort of thing. And Homefront is, it's got that different premise that North Korea sort of attacks the US, and it's from what I saw last year and bits and pieces I've seen this year, it's set in urban environments, farmsteads, those sort of things. So I think it's going to be an interesting take on that first-person genre. Whether at the end of the day it will really reinvent it, I don't know. But I think, I think with first-person shooters, you've really got to try and mix it up a wee bit so that it doesn't get, fall into that same old, as a lot of first-person shooters can. But I mean, in terms of game, there's there's going to be something for everyone there. There are so many games here coming up for all formats and all platforms. The world's your oyster really in terms of anything that you want to find.
Cool, and
sure.
No doubt over the next year you'll be covering a lot of these games, not only at stuff.co.nz but also here on the show as well.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, there's certainly some really, really good ones that I'm looking forward to this year.
Right.
Certainly some good ones for this year, and then for the next sort of 9 months after that, it'll be just incredibly tense and busy, I think.
All right. Well, you can get more Game Junkie up at stuff.co.nz and also on Twitter as well, twitter.com/GameJunkieNZ. Thank you so much, Gerard.
A pleasure, Wammo.